What's up, big gunner?
And we are live. Good morning, Crypto Warriors, and welcome back to Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 1313. Today is Thursday, March 20th, 2025, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m.-ish. And today's top stories: SEC's XRP reversal is a victory for the industry, says Ripple CEO. Again, you all were talking about this toward the end of the show yesterday. It was made official toward the end of the show as well. Tether's U.S. Treasury holdings surpass Canada. Taiwan ranks 7th globally. Coinbase becomes Ethereum's largest node operator with 11% stake. Woo! And I am ashamed, says Solana CEO, as they break silence over controversial ad backlash. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these prices to see what's going on. All right, let me get my screen. Let me there blow it up. There it is. Bitcoin is coming in at $85,946, up 1.98% as the market rebounds. Ethereum $1,991, down 2.07%. Ripple at number 3, $2.51, down 1.94%. Number 5, BNB $625, up 2.29%. Number 6, Solana $131, down 0.66%. Number 8, Cardano, 74 cents, down 0.15%. And number 10, Tron at 23 cents, up 0.61%. Fear and greed index has increased. It's looking good. As the price goes up, so does people. I think people just like buying it high. They don't want to buy it low. They're like, we want it to be higher. If it's low, we don't want it. So as the price pumps, so does the fear and greed index. Altcoin season still at a 21. Bitcoin dominance at a 60.7. You see Ethereum there at an 8.6. Those are your tokens for the day. Oh my goodness, it's looking amazing in this crypto market. Let me tell you. As I sip my soda that I'm show somebody to spit in. Hey. Let me give some quick shout outs to the chat. What's going on, Warriors? Welcome back to the show. Only Bitcoin, Jerome Jones, Lord Smith, Birdtime Music Group, Patrick Walter, Wisdom Bars, DM Carr, Jake Fever said Brad Garlington will go on his multi-level marketing scheme to pay banks to announce partnerships. Now XRP to the moon. You got to get burned to learn. I actually agree with that. Yeah, Brad Garlington, look. This is advertising at its best. Not only, not necessarily do you have regulatory clearance, but to beat one of the strongest federal agencies on the planet. I mean, to every other country, yeah, I agree. If I was XRP, Brad Garlinghouse, what do you mean regulation? Like, we just beat the SEC. Like, your country's regulatory body stands no chance against us and our lawyers. Like, we will turn them upside down. They don't even have the money to go back and forth with us for the next 3 or 4 years. So I agree with Jake. Brad Garlinghouse, if he's, which he is smart, he's about to start this tour. I think we're going to start seeing we're going to see XRP everywhere. If anything, this is their best chance to hijack as much and as many noobs or people who have been experienced in the Bitcoin ecosystem. This is their chance to hijack as many of them to bring it up. You know what? Let me just roll into the first story then. You all are talking about, I know you were excited yesterday. SEC's XRP reversal, a victory for the industry, says Ripple CEO. Again, I've said that as well the last few years, that I did not want to see them lose this, regardless of how I felt about them or how long they were going to last or whatever. I was like, I don't want them to lose, because if they lose to the SEC, it makes headway for every other altcoin out there to lose. They're number 3. They've been in the top 10 for a while. If XRP went down, every other altcoin would have went down. Okay. They would say if XRP is a security, so is number 4, 6, 8, 10, so on and so forth. So the SEC's dismissal of its years-long case against Ripple Labs marks a new chapter for crypto, the CEO said. And I like to add as well, I said this in the past, but waste, fraud, and abuse of American taxpayer money. They did a multi-year campaign to end Ripple for no other reason than to really just try to slow them down or to destroy their project. And they use taxpayer money to do it. That's the problem. It's one thing, like, if they were directly just using the banker's money or just using private wealth management money or whatever, but they use the average ordinary citizen who doesn't know or care about Ripple or any other crypto for that matter. They use that pot of money to go after Ripple. So I'm glad to see that they won and that they're going on this victory tour as well. So the U.S. SEC's dismissal of his years-long lawsuit against Ripple Labs, the developer of the XRP Ledger blockchain network. Just in case you'll know, they are two different things. I do oftentimes use them interchangeably here because A lot of people don't know the difference, or they're two different things. So I'll just use it as one. But it's a victory for the industry. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said at Blockworks 2025 Digital Assets Summit in New York. You are right, Jake. He is already on that tour. Earlier on March 19th, Garlinghouse revealed that the SEC would dismiss its legal action against Ripple, ending 4 years of litigation against the blockchain developer for an alleged $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering in 2020. It was always about the money. Um, I mean, 4 years. 4 years. That's kind of crazy. And again, $1.3 billion wasn't even the biggest offering that you saw. It probably was the biggest at the time, actually. But in 2017, we saw all different types of numbers. I think like we were saying was it 250 million, 220 million? What did EOS do and a few other projects? So it was some folks who were really touching numbers. This was a 1.3. Oh, actually, another thing, it probably was the biggest at the time. Something this was 2020 or whatever. Yeah, that $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering in 2020. SEC said we want a taste of that. You know how it goes. They say, hold on.
From here on, nothing goes down unless I'm involved. No blackjack, no dope deals, no nothing. A nickel bag gets sold in the park. I want in.
They want in on this type of action, okay? It feels like a victory for the industry and the beginning of a new chapter, Garlinghouse said on March 19th at the summit, which was attended by Cointelegraph. And look at that stunning CEO, that stunning leader. No, seriously, shout out to Brad Garlinghouse. I'm happy to see, again, XRP did their thing against the SEC. I'm sure he's already thanked President Trump, but he definitely has to thank this administration, because if we would have got the same or similar administration as the last one, this definitely would not have been the case. I think they would have eventually buckled or had to concede at some point, even though they didn't want to, because that would have been 8 years straight of just nonstop attacks from the government. Like I mean, 4 was already a lot, but another 4, I don't even know they would have been able to handle it, but they didn't have to. So again, shout out to XRP. Not only is this a reversal for them, this is a big win for the entire industry, as the CEO is saying. I also agree with that. It's a big win for the entire industry. And yeah, I mean, as I've been parroting already from the beginning of the year to the election, I think it will be not necessarily smooth sailing, but it's definitely a time for innovation. You can actually break things without having to worry about paying your life savings or going to prison because you accidentally broke something, where you're talking tech and finance, right? You're not even talking things that are actually hurting people right now. So I think this is a big victory for the entire industry. I'm happy to see it. Jake said the craziest thing is bro spent 120 million to fight the SEC that he printed out of thin air. He never bought one single XRP token. Great point, Jake. I mean, and that is, I guess that's the benefit of being that project founder, right? You're the project founder, like you said, you get it out of thin air. And for his project XRP, you're right. He did get it out of thin air. And then to say we'll use that same out of thin air money to go against the government since they're mad that we have a project so big. I mean, it's kind of poetic. So I'm definitely with it. All right, what else do we have? They say your Insta shorts are becoming legendary. Jay got some good Insta shorts for sure. Hidden Gangster, what up, though? All right, Tether is in the news. Shout out to Tether. I think they're not only putting out this information because it's factual, but also to kind of let these other stablecoin companies or competitors or people who want to see Tether fail, let them know that we are definitely not going down without a fight. That's right. Tether's war chest is astronomical at this point. Tether's U.S. Treasury holdings, and that's the U.S. Treasury holdings, right? That surpasses Canada and Taiwan and ranks 7 globally. Stablecoins are seeing growing adoption among regulators and investors, which may signal that the current bull market is only mid-cycle, according to some analysts. I do think that we're only mid-cycle. But the cool thing about this is that, or not even the cool thing, Tether's only talking about the U.S. holdings. That's why I really, ostracize that, if that's a real word. I like to make them up. But essentially, we don't know what other holdings from other countries that they have those same type of treasury holdings. So just to see that this is their U.S. ones says a lot about the stability of where Tether's at right now, especially when early on, 2016, 2017, a lot of people were questioning, did they even have the reserves or the capital or the things in place in order to prop that price to stay 1-to-1. So Tether, the $143 billion stablecoin giant, was the world's 7th largest buyer of U.S. treasuries, surpassing some of the world's largest countries. Tether, the issuer of USDT, the world's largest stablecoin, was the world's 7th largest U.S. Treasury buyer, surpassing Canada, Taiwan, Mexico, Norway, Hong Kong, and numerous other countries. They acquired over $33.1 billion worth of treasuries, compared to over $100 billion purchased by the Cayman Island in the first place in global rankings, according to Paulo Ardino, the CEO of Tether. Not only is this good for Tether, when you talk about the regulatory environment and regulatory oversight, this will make countries like the United States say, okay, now we're not out to destroy you, right? We can't destroy you because in effect we'll be destroying ourselves. They pulled a crypto.com move by getting the stadium named after them. But not only does that protect them a little bit from the United States saying we're out to just literally destroy your company, that makes them not necessarily a friend, but more of an ally, right? Because now the US can come to them and say, all right, whatever, maybe we do have compliance issues or regulatory issues, but you buy our bonds. All right, we'll work with you. Maybe there's a fine here or whatever there, but they don't want to stop that bond buying. So they're becoming too big to fail if they're not there already. And then for the overall crypto market, this is good as well, because now the United States is looking like cryptocurrency projects, platforms, whatever you want to call it, are now becoming. I mean, we've seen this with DAOs as well. They're becoming big as countries, right? They're having the same representation and governance as countries. I remember years ago, I forgot which one off the top of my head, but someone was offering digital citizenship. So it's just like it is now becoming just as big to be a stablecoin issuer as it is to be an actual country in terms of GDP, right? So this is crazy to see. Shout out to Tether. Again, like the XRP story, this is a great news story for the overall crypto environment and market. And yes, I mean, for Tether, I think the same as Ripple, they made it out of their dark phase, right? Unless somebody behind the scenes does something absolutely crazy, you can pretty much guarantee that 1-to-1 is going to stay pretty much the same as far as a dollar tether to Bitcoin and having that stable coin relationship there. Let's see. Stan said while XRP signaled for a, I can't even see it. While they signaled for, while XRP signaled for a SOS, projects remained on the sideline during the Fire Squad SEC. Why is Brad open to partnerships? I think Brad is open to partnerships because of the new administration, right? And the new SEC. It's something I'm even recognizing and having to be honest with. Like, and this is where it gets kind of it gets crazy and weird at, because you do have to respect this as being a new SEC, right? They're doing everything but publicly apologizing to people at this point. Like they are doing everything but apologizing to the crypto community. So it is a different SEC. The only issue is how long does it last? And does it last for every type of project or just enough projects that don't disturb the peace of the government, right? Because if we get another Bitcoin mixer in here that's going crazy, will that be penalized the same way? Or they say, hey, it's freedom of technology. You use a Bitcoin mixer. It is what it is. That remains to be seen. But I'm with them. Like at this point, you kind of have to be open to partnerships because the SEC has already shown one thing. Love it or hate it, they, as the American government, they have shown they will press the issue, right? The SEC is like, regardless of how you feel, if you like us, if you hate us, you want to fire us, if you want to cold tar and feather us, whatever, we're still going to sue your ass. We're still going to extort you for payments. We're still going to use the American government to come after you. So, however you feel about it, they've already shown that we'll do this to the crypto community. We will flip you upside down. We will shut a project down. We will say you were doing fraudulent activity. We will make you look like a criminal. We'll send you to prison. We have so many different options of things we can do with you all. They've already shown to do that. So at this point, to be on this size of an XRP of a Ripple team, you're trying to do banking partnerships. You're trying to do international partnerships. It only makes sense to continue those regulatory partnerships now. So the next, because this is what happens next time, as they establish this partnership now, they become a part of the gang essentially. They become part of the good old guys, right? And gals. And if they can make that cross, right? Kind of like Coinbase did, go public. And yeah, we're a part of the US now and really try to make it won't be all the way in, but really try to make that stride to it. Then the next cycle, when you get the XRP competitors and everything else, now they'll have the government on their side to say, oh, all of a sudden, if you want to do the same thing XRP is doing, maybe it costs $300,000 for a license to start in the United States, right? And every other country we're partnered with. So I think it gets convoluted, but it's just more of a business move. All right, Coinbase is in the news. This was a funny story to me. It's a funny story on Coinbase's and Ethereum side of the house. Coinbase becomes Ethereum's largest node operator with 11% stake. First and foremost, when you look at Ethereum and you talk about centralization and proof of stake, Coinbase owns 11%. I mean, how that's pretty centralized, right? They own was only 9 other essentially if it was 10 people, only 9 other people would have that type of power, right? Maybe one of them, but 11% of that. So that's kind of a centralization issue. And then on the Coinbase side, again, we were talking about ethos and everything the other day. This is why I'm saying just know that they're not doing things for the industry as much as they are for themselves. Because if you really and truly were like a steward of the industry, why would you want to even own that much Ethereum, right? Like, why you're trying to keep it as quote unquote decentralized as possible, and this that like, why do you even need to own 11% Coinbase? What at what number does it stop? That's the next question. Is it 30%? Is it 45? Is it 50? Do you need to own the whole network at 100? Like, why even own 11% of it? I don't know. Especially again when you're talking about Ethereum, smart, supposed to be smart contracts and things like that. It just seems super irresponsible especially for an exchange, right? It's not like they use their own capital as much as they've used a lot of other people's capital to make these type of plays. So I don't know about it. It just to me it was just kind of interesting. I was like, okay, it's one of those Coinbase strikes again things, and it's one of those Ethereum showing the world who they really are things. But Coinbase is Ethereum's largest node operator, holding 11.42% of the staked ETH, with validators achieving 99.75% uptime, outperforming network averages. Now, that's a good thing to see. A Coinbase report revealed that the crypto exchange is the largest node operator on the Ethereum network, controlling 11.42% of the total stake Ether. And that also means, folks, if Coinbase were to wake up one day and not stake that, the markets could be marketing. In a performance report, Coinbase said it had 3.84 million Ether worth about $6.8 billion staked to its validators. The exchange said that as of March 3rd, it has 11.42% of the total stake ETH. Anthony Sassano, host of the Daily GWI, said that Coinbase's stake makes the exchange the single largest node operator in the network. He added, while the staking platform leader, Lido, is bigger as a collective, each node operator has a much smaller percentage share for sure. So even on this channel, during some of the classes a few years ago, of course, we were staking on Lido. It had great returns too, by the way, at that time. I'm not sure what it's at now. The government essentially said they were going to go after Lido. So a lot of people walked away or got away from that staking environment. But yes, staking on Lido, even though it's a whole stake, right? Because everybody's there, they are individual node operators. Like myself would be one, someone else could be one. So that was a different situation. So it's like, yeah, Lido as a whole is bigger, but it's more like saying, um, you know, everyone, this city is bigger, but not the person in the city, right? To kind of put an example, it's saying maybe one city has more humans in it, and each one is maybe putting a lower amount of money into it versus another town that just has Bill Gates sitting over there. Well, it's like, well, this city's bigger as far as people and stuff, so we probably even have more capital going to it. But that town has Bill Gates over there, so he has a large chunk of everything we have over here as well. So again, depending on how you look at it, some people could say this is a good thing. They could say this is Coinbase is a publicly traded company. They're going to be in the market for a long time. This strengthens the system. Some people can look at it like that, right? There's definitely some positives. But then again, the flip to me is just the centralization aspect of it. And then Coinbase is like, I don't know, do they need to have it all? That's the only thought I have when I look at it. But again, I'm sure people are excited. They can spend this as a way to strengthen the Ethereum network. You all let me know in the comments. What do you think right now? Like, let me know. Is this a plus for Ethereum to have Coinbase have what 11.42% of it, or is this an L on it, and why? Let me take a quick peek. I don't know. I don't know how I feel off the top of my head. I was like, I mean, at the end of the day, right now is definitely a good thing too, because Ethereum does need all the help they can get. So I don't know. Maybe if this capital and this type of stakes will help them or encourage more developers to go over there to make things faster and more efficient. It'll pay off in the end. But I don't know. Like I said, where does that percentage end? Super Mario said, I said what I said yesterday about Ethereum and I stand on it. Should Ethereum become a layer 2 on Bitcoin? Ooh, you know what? A lot of code will have to be changed at this point. I don't know how that will work, but if that was the original like play on it, that would have been great. That was what Litecoin was kind of really trying to do. What else do we have? I forgot about, yeah, okay. Somebody just said Litecoin too. Who's that? Jake? Come on, only ETF coming this year is Litecoin in August. I can see that happening as well. I can see them stalling out another year or two for Litecoin, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, last but not least, we have to talk about this Solana story since I ran it yesterday. I am ashamed. Solana CEO breaks silence over controversial ad backlash. Now, this story, I skimmed through it this morning because initially I was going to call off. It was just like the news stories is blah once again, but I saw this one and of course the Ripple one. I was like, okay, got to talk about the Ripple thing. And then I was like, when I saw the name of Solana CEO, because I didn't know his name or whatever. When I saw the name of the CEO, I had to do this story too. I'm not going to rant because I already did this rant the other day, but I'm just going to touch upon something here in a moment. The Solana Labs CEO says the controversial advertisement was gnawing at his soul and promises Solana will stay out of cultural wars. Again, that's why I said why politicize it. But here's the deal. Solana Labs CEO Anatoly Yakovenko. All right. Let me just remind you the commercial was about the character's name was supposedly America. And it was supposed to be essentially be saying, America's going to go back to being great and thinking about innovation and stuff. And we're going to get out of like the gender things and blah, blah, blah. All right. They were talking about, of course, transgenderism and everything else. But this is what I'm talking about the other day when Australia was running the U.S. news pieces, which they've done since the election. They were like celebrating Donald Trump winning too, and it was kind of weird to me. Well, Anatoly Yakovenko has a commercial about America. Like, I want to reiterate this. America still has to get some issues taken care of its past before all these new Americans are American to me. All right. Like, I don't want to hear it. This is crazy to me. This is absolutely crazy to me. And Anatoly Yakovenko is making cultural war commercials about America. Do you all not see what the problem with this? Again, I'm not going to get political today. I'm not going to rant. I'm not saying choose a side or even go toward this whole immigration debate. But what I will say is what I do not like and I disagree with and I don't want to see is new people come to America and say, oh, yeah, this is what America is. This is how we roll it. Hell no. We got a lot of old problems in this country we got to figure out. Once those are figured out, I'm sure we'll open our arms to everyone else. But there are a lot of children here or descendants of children for the last 100 or so years. We got to figure out a lot of stuff first. But having an Anatoly Yakovenko make a commercial about what America is and gender identity, like, no, this is where the buck stops. You all stopped the buck for Kendrick and said it was American versus. You should have stopped the buck for Meek Mill too. The Meek Mill was still Philadelphia versus Canada. All right, I'm going back then. Like, what are y'all talking about? It's America first, folks. And for everyone else who thinks different, it feels and sounds good until you're actually somewhere different and people hear you. It doesn't matter if you're tall, short, white, black, Mexican, Asian, whatever. If they hear that American accent, they can be like, oh, you're American. In some places, that's a positive response. In some places, it is a very negative response. Okay. Regardless, it is crazy to me that we are not doing like what commercial will we do? And Tali Yankovenko, where is he from? Let me Google this. Where is he from? Like, what commercial? What would our be our response commercial to what's going on? We don't do this. Okay, he did go to Chicago. Okay, he was hey, and totally say I'm from Chicago because he went to let me see. I might be oh no, okay, he was born in Ukraine. Oh my goodness, Ukraine. Oh, come on, and totally. He said I went to University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I was in Chicago with them old block boys. You can't tell me nothing. And totally is coming from Ukraine making American commercials. This is my point. I'm not going to go there, but I have been noticing some things where there's good immigration and bad immigration. Hell to the no. I don't care about your listen. If you can't tell me what middle school and high school your parents went to, I'm good on it. Okay. Right now, I'm good on it. I need to know what middle school and high school your parents went to. All right. This is absolutely amazing to me. Oh my goodness. All right. I just want to make that out. But anyway, and totally Yakovenko is really ashamed, and he's saying this is gnawing at his soul. Like, and this was even crazy to be a Ukrainian and probably an American citizen by now with enough money, but to be from Ukraine and everything that's going on with your and this is why I don't get involved in other people's business too. especially regional. I stay in American business, and even in America, for the most part, I try to keep it state and region specific, unless I'm going to actually go out there and do something to be solution oriented. But I say all that to say, everything that's going on with Ukraine and Russia, and you make a cultural war gender commercial, wow. I mean, like, aren't you all trying to get as much help and support as you can from Americans too? Like, wow. Like, and this is what I mean. So, and this is what I mean. I've been saying this for years. Like, whether it is a developer, because I just Googled him. I saw he coded C++ and all that. A developer trying to play a CEO, right? We see too much of that. Or whether it's an entertainer, rapper, actor, athlete trying to play politician. Like, stay in your lanes, okay? I ain't like, stay in your lanes, folks. There are people who go to school for a lot of this stuff. There's people who study the cultural wars and stuff. But in Tali Yakovenko, to use your Solana platform as a developer from Ukraine to do this, come on, that is like, this is the craziest stuff. He's being quoted as saying, "I'm ashamed I downplayed it instead of just calling it what it is, mean and punching down on the marginalized group." And that's really what people were kind of upset about, I think, more than anything. I've had to tell myself this as well. It's like, I saw somebody, what was it? Nick Cannon was telling Candace Owens something. He's like, you don't lead with empathy. I had to take that to heart. I don't oftentimes lead with empathy, and I know I need to do that a lot more as well. Blame Detroit and the military, but it is what it is. But it's just one of those things where it's just like, that's what people are talking about. People just want to see other people lead with empathy, whether they agree or disagree with something. So yeah, the punch down when your home country is at war with someone else who could really be and Tali, if we were to just overnight be like, we like Russia and not Ukraine, like, you talking about punching down, we'd be stomping down on people like you. Like, come on, that's absolutely crazy. I agree, Stan. Only in America will you get somebody who's not an American and to talk shit about other people and how they should be doing things. All right, I'm not gonna go crazy. I said I wasn't going to crazy rant. This one just caught me off guard because I saw the article. I had just scrolled through it because I was like, you know what? Again, I wasn't going to cover the news today, but I was like, let me see what he's at least saying. I'm ashamed. And when I saw the name in the first thing, I was like, you got to be shitting me. You made a commercial that got the main character as America. Your name is Anatoly Yankovenko from Ukraine. Oh my goodness. My thing is, look, I disagree with it, but if we're gonna do it, then I don't want to hear anyone else get talked down on in America for saying a piece about Ukraine, Russia, Palestine, Israel, left, right, up, down, yams, rounds, potatoes, tomatoes, yams, rounds. Hey, remember that one? Smash that like and share. I will see you all tomorrow